Welcome to the Charbon Report. I'm Michael A. Charbon. Today's title, America's Star Strangled Healthcare System. Many modern developed societies supply universal health care. It's a promise not based on financial status, caste, or ability to pay for medical services. It's based on an economy which provides national medical infrastructure and care paid for by the government through taxes. That means people have to pay taxes. So Canada, UK, Germany, France, Australia, and many more have this system in place, universal health care. The UK, for instance, with 68 million people, spent about 185 billion pounds, which translates to about $3,569 US per Brit. One night stay in the hospital in the UK cost the NHS about $629 US. 40 million Canadians spent about 330 billion on healthcare. That's just over 6,200 US per Canadian. But the US, you ready for this? At 334 million people spend $4.3 trillion. That's about 12,000 per American. I mean, some countries are better at maintaining medical hospitals and delivering care than others. No government-run program is perfect. I mean, we know this in Canada. We've heard it in the UK, I should say. Complaints about healthcare becoming a casualty, over-demand, wait times, underfunding. You know, hospital workers are all overworked and underpaid. We hear this loud and clear. And there will be wait times for elective surgery, but in an emergency or in a tragic accident where immediate medical intervention is needed to save a life, both in America and Canada, all resources at hand are used, with no exception, and in the UK as well, to have whatever a life-saving procedure is necessary. The one difference between America and those with universal health care is a monumental fact. And that is the next day when you gain consciousness in a U.S. hospital, the first question is, do you have insurance? I mean, you're full of tubes and all the rest of that, and there comes a, hi, I'm from the hospital. I mean, do you have insurance? And if you say no, the second one is, do you have a credit card? Or who's your family member? Yeah. I mean, if you break your arm in Canada, you show up with your provincial health care card, and then after the x-rays, the doctor's prognosis, the typical question is, what color would you like your cast? I mean, in the States, a broken arm could cost you $7,500 or $15,000, depends on what it is. So to get sick in America can cause catastrophic financial ruin if you don't have insurance. Now, I ask the question, is this fair? In one of the greatest economies in the world, the nation held up as the defender of freedom and the American dream, that a U.S. hospital stay can bankrupt your life, destroy years of hard work, and put you in permanent debt, all because you got sick, or you were the innocent victim of a random terrible occurrence? I mean, an overnight stay at an American hospital can cost 20 grand or higher, depending on what you need. I mean, imagine a week or 10 days with no health insurance. That bill could liquidate a family's savings and cause them to lose their house, destroy their way of life in this flash of unfortunate luck. I mean, you hear about horrible situations of these occurrences, and particularly right now, it's in the first and foremost in the SAG and actor strikes, they're talking about health insurance. I mean, there's stories of vehicles and random acts of violence where the injured, the innocent injured, are left with monumental medical bills of no fault of their own. I mean, a family of four, if you want health insurance in the States, it could cost you about 23 grand a year. A low estimate in the States says that 27 million Americans are uninsured, with millions more lacking even adequate variations of the most minimum of coverage. Texas is the most uninsured, followed by Oklahoma, and the most insured in the United States are in Massachusetts. But there's two groups in America that are guaranteed universal health care in America. That's those in prison and, of course, the military. So America's Star Strangled Healthcare System is about to have a real shock. The current economy, I mean, it doesn't allow for some families to pay 23 grand a year for insurance, let alone groceries or put gas in the car just to get to work. Imagine 6 million plus illegal aliens who arrived here in not optimal health at the best, who have no insurance, or about to have a whole bunch of babies. Think about that. Or just under 600 million homeless? What about the mentally ill, the drug addicted? All those people are all going to show up one day at an emergency room. You know, when someone is overdosed and the victim has fire, ambulance, and police show up and they rush them to the hospital, and thankfully they're going to be taken care of. The same as the lady whose water that breaks. Who pays for that? Who collects that never to be collected charge? Well, the hospital, the state, and inevitably the American taxpayer, and higher insurance rates. So guys, when you face this, how long are these states and hospitals going to be able to afford to hold up the cost of these uninsured bills? I mean, in 2010, there was an attempt. You remember you will be able to keep your own doctor? Kinda. But today, over 40 million Americans are insured under the Affordable Health Care Act. I mean, which had basically raised the uninsured. It cut it by half and reduced racial and ethnic disparities. That's a real start. But the reality is, America, more people will be uninsured and unable to pay the real cost of health care, and it's going to be a fundamental problem, and you must make a change. America must join modern nations to promise to deliver a medical treatment to all their citizens and eliminate financial ruin due to medical costs. Well, I believe I have a solution. It's not new, but you got to lay it out in simple terms. I think it's a three-tiered system. The first tier is the VA. The VA must remain independent and fully funded by the American federal system. It should remain an island unto its own because of the debt served to veterans, with one exception. And I'll get to that in a second. The second tier is private health care. I mean, health care is used as currency for all intents and purposes in negotiating pay options for those fortunate enough to afford to be able to negotiate it through their employer. Now, the UK has private health care on top of the NHS. So if you have a free national system, a private health care system could augment that and add to it. And you'll never be able to change that. There's going to be a higher premium and the regular public system. And finally, the third tier, and here's where I think it can make a difference, is Medicare and Medicaid should be combined into one system where pharmaceuticals, supplies, equipments, beds, etc., teaching facilities should all be funded by the federal and state coffers. The VA and Medicare and Medicaid should become a trifecta to negotiate pharmaceutical deals. The best price from the best supplier, I should say. A free market, buy in bulk. No more third party adding a percentage on here and a percentage on here. Imagine the buying power of the three of them negotiating a price for pharmaceuticals. That will make a huge point. And designate public hospitals to get increased funding for teaching based on non-profits. That will create a real public system. States should be able to compete in supplying goods, services, medication, even hospital insurance from market to market. That's the free market system. That's going to fund it and make a huge difference. You see, America must fund exceptionalism in medicine and medical advancements in conjunction with universities willing to place qualified next-generation doctors and nurses in public hospitals. You know that old adage, you can pay me now or you can pay me later? It's really going to be that reality. This has got to be a really strong point in the 2024 platform. And regardless of being rich, poor, or whatever, you should not have to face bankruptcy because you have a hospital stay in America. As a Canadian, I'm very fortunate, and I appreciate living in a country that has universal health care, and I wish the same for my neighbors to the south. Please like and share, subscribe if you can, leave a comment below, and if you want to see more episodes of The Charbon Report, go to charbonreport.com. I'm Michael A. Charbon. God bless, and stay safe.